Hello everyone, Megu here. Today I have full in-depth guide about new desire cards that we got this season. Let's start with basic stuff, how to even get desire cards. There are two options. First one is just to play new seasonal heroes, and there is second one when we are in zero system. When merging planet, make sure to have selected this icon here. Then after merging, you will get a planet that can give you desire cards. There are 4 different types of desire cards. We have claim, inquiry, control and survival. First 3 you can get in zero system and in seasonal planet. Survival one is only obtainable in a new seasonal planet. To get claim, inquiry or control cards, you have to look on map for these icons. Events with these icons will give you options to get desired cards. Other way to get these cards is if you have unlocked first node in new seasonal tree, then you can get desired cards also in shop. To get survival one, you have to look for question marks, since they only appear in new planet in regular events. You can't get survival ones from this icon. After you finish event or fight with this icon, you will get additional event when you can choose either the desired card of control, claim or inquiry based on event, or random desire cards. Other option to get desire cards, as I said before, is in shop. As you can see, I have now desire card in shop, and I can just buy it, add it to my combatant, and I have level up my desire card that's combatant own. To level up your desire card, when you get option to pick another one, let's say I will look for something else. Let's say I have already control desire on Typhira. I pick another one, then my desire cards have control too. And I can also pick one of desire card that I want to keep in my deck. So let's say I will keep this one. Why do we even level our cards? Other than enchanting their effect with each level they get, they also have this control free. And each path have its own passive. The passive power depends on how many of that type desire cards we have in deck. We have total 3 combatants, each can have 1 desire card, so up to 9 points. And passives have threshold at 3, 5, and 7. Here you can see, guys, that I have same desire card at level 3, but every of these cards have different passives, have different number of desire paths passives. As you can see here, it's control free, but this one is 1 control, 1 inquiry, 1 claim. What does this mean? This allows to work around passives and building splits like 5 to 3 kinda easier. There is no need to get 3 control on 1 card in 1 run, so if you get unlucky, you are not that bad. You can just go lower number of control and then building like 5-3 split, you can go 2-1 control inquiry, you can go control 3, and then you can go 2 inquiry, 1 anything on last card on last combatant. So building these cards and working around passives is pretty flexible. As I said before, we have 3 thresholds at 3, 5, and 7. 3 and 5 are mostly stat-based, adding some positive effects to your whole team. When 7 plus is passive that allows you to get kinda ultimate card of these paths. Okay, so how exactly this 7 plus passive works? As you can see, at the start of battle, we are getting 9 stacks of control desire. And when we use control card, this number goes up to maximum 10. As you can see, I'm using card with control 3. I meant I'm at 9 stacks. After using it goes up to 10, I am at 0. But when I use another card, it goes again by 3. So when this counter reaches 10, I'm getting ultimate card of this path. These ultimate cards are given to combatant that got 10th stack of passive. Here I prepared simple table on which turns in Great Rift we will be able to get our ultimate desire card. So as you can see, we are getting them total 8 out of 10 turns. So turn 1 we start with 9. After using 3 desire cards, after first we go to 10, so we are going to 0, then 2 cards is 6. Going further like this, we start turn 4 and turn 8, sadly at 0 stacks. So these 2 turns we can't get our ultimate desire card payoff. So let's start with claim passive first. Claim passive at 3 plus give us 2 morale for 1 turn when we apply debuff to enemy. And 5 plus claim increase our dots amount by 35%. I will cover soon how much really is that 35%, but if we play 5 plus claim, we play dots, so we need to apply dots each turn, and dots are harmful effects, so applying dot procs morale from 3 plus claim. 7 plus claim, as I said before, give us ultimate card. Ultimate card for claim is just 5 morale and 5 resolve for 1 turn. So total, having 7 plus claim equals to 9 morale each turn. It's pretty huge buff. Only downside is what I said, in Rift we have 2 turns that we can't get this claim card. I did a quick test how much really that 5 plus passive gives. So let's see. First run I did was with passive active. Here, after I applied fracture, I applied 2 stacks. From 3 plus passive I got 4 morale. I applied 2 fractures. Dot damage is at 188. So if we subtract 80 from 4 morale stacks that we got, this is at 108. And we have 2 stacks, so 1 stack is 54% damage. Base fracture is 40% damage, so 5 plus passive gives us only plus 40% per fracture we have. Here you can see I'm going without claim 5 plus, and after I applied that second fracture, dot is at 160, so it's 28 less. So as I said, it's 30% per fracture stack buff. There are our results from test I did at 4 morale from 3 claim. Without 5 claim it was 160, 5 plus was 188. When I use negotiation, I cut it from video, it goes up to 200, 228, so it's plus 40%, so 5 plus claim don't multiply morale buff. So at 1 fracture, gain from that passive is pretty low. It's only 3% more damage on our dots. But if we assume we are at 30 fracture, since morales at the end, after multiplier, this is 26% more damage just from this passive to our dot damage. How useful it will be only depends on how much damage they will do with dots, and if the buffs to dots will be multiplied by this passive or not, since here right now it's pretty huge gap. But if we add more additive stuff at the end, this gap will be lower. So like, let's say we will get plus 1000% somehow. This difference is only 60% increase. So for now, this buff looks kinda okay. First claim card is just some damage, and this card have pretty cool effect. It's 1 morale for each harmful effect possessed by target when we kill that target. But this card is 2 AP, and it's only controller and psionic exclusive, so we can't even run this on our DPSs. We will have to kill enemy with support combatants to even proc this. So overall, I would say this card is pretty bad. Our second claim card is just 170% damage plus 160% damage, so it's just meaningless hit that do some damage. Really not recommended to have this on anyone. This card is also bad. Going next, we have Gilded Nest. This card gives us shield for each harmful effect on enemy, and it applies Agony and Scorch to enemies. Also, this card don't look any good. Agony is fake, it does 0 damage. Scorch also looks like kinda fake dots. From what we know, Arabella will not work with Scorch, so Scorch is here to do some cheap damage. Shield is shield. I don't know if it will be at all needed, so I would say this card also is not very good. Going next, we have a card that just give us 2 extra attacks each turn and decrease morale of target. This extra attacks being capped at 2 is pretty low number, so I don't feel like this card will have any use. And our last claim card, that is probably best, is Sever Ties. This card gives us 40% additive, max 120 for each debuff enemy have, so for those they have, it will give us buff. Worth to mention is fact that Arabella is Striker, and this card is Striker exclusive. So this card may be played on Arabella. It's also 6 morale, but it's not 6 morale. This effect is not called morale, so it's works alongside 20 morale if we have cap. So I think if we will need 7 plus claim for a Rift, we will play this one on Arabella. Next we have Control. Control looks pretty good in terms of passive, only this 5 plus passive that gives crit chance for each enemy. We will most likely have AO in Rift, so this one will be probably 25 crit chance to our entire team, and that's a lot. 3 plus passive, it's just 2 agony. It's nothing, it's really bad. And 7 plus passive is card that applies Scorched. So Scorch is, as I said, pretty bad dot. So 7 plus also looks kinda fake of control, but 5 plus is really solid. So our first card is 2 mana attack card for Striker and Vanguard, so Arabella, that do damage to all enemies, and on defeat apply Scorch to random enemies. So let's say we have boss summons some mobs in Rift, and we kill with this card all mobs, it applies Scorch to boss. But Scorch is capped at 10, so this effect is kinda fake. will overcap if we kill multiple enemies with this card. Another control card is just some damage and decrease action count by 3. This effect to decrease action count is only for Scorched, and as I said, Scorch is bad, so this card is also probably bad. Another control damage is another card that does do damage, and this card do more damage if enemy have Agony or Scorch. As I said, we don't want to play Agony and we don't want to play Scorch, and this effect of increased damage is only to this card, so this card is also bad. Here's another control card that is pure damage. It does do damage and then do extra hit if enemy is Scorch state. Another bad card. And our last control card is Ionic and controller exclusive. So maybe this card applies 3 vulnerable to target that possess harmful effect. So if we are playing someone like Rita 9 that really likes vulnerable, this card may have some use. And this card can apply this vulnerable AoE, so you massacre and do big damage with this thing. Oh, and there also is this second effect. One weekend is pretty okay for survivability. Scorch is fake, as I said a few times already in this video. Next we have Inquiry. This one have pretty good 3 and 5 passives. Passive from 3 is pretty good to proc our 5 plus passive. 5 plus passive is just 2 free draws every turn. And it's pretty easy to proc, since we just need to draw card, then our 3 plus passive proccing our 5 plus passive. So first 2 draw cards each turn draws extra card. So it's pretty simple, and 7 plus effect is just card that gives us another draw tool. So if you want more draw, you may play this, but I would much rather play Claim 3 plus, since Inquiry 3 plus applies debuffs, so Claim 3 plus then gives us morale each turn. That's pretty good combo, I would say. So our first Inquiry card is just some damage that scales with more damage to cost. As before, these damage-based desire cards are not that good. I would rather skip them. There are much better Inquiry cards. Next we have Sample Collection. This card is just some damage with draw 2. This card, I would say, is really good. One of the best, if not best, desire card we even have in game. Really recommend playing this on everyone, as long as you have AP to play this, to be honest. Next card is just some additive damage to next attack card we use this turn. It's kinda nothing, it's plus 200% to one attack card that turn. So we are paying 1 AP for that buff. If it wasn't just one card, then maybe this card would have any use, but fact that it buffs only one card, I don't know. It's probably not that good, if any good. Next we have card that just do extra attack when we draw. Being at max 3 times means this card is pointless to use. It's just a bit extra damage when we have better options that gives us either more draw or more damage, as I will show you soon. Okay, and last Inquiry card is just draw 1 that applies 3 random effects to enemies. This one was much better before they changed 5 plus passives, since before it was RNG if you proc this passive or not. Right now I wouldn't use this card. Lastly we have Survival. starting with survival passive, it makes us take 10% less damage and give us some shield. At the turn end, we have 3 plus, and if we have 5 plus, it's 3 morale, resolve, and fortitude every turn as long as we are above 50% HP. 7 plus card is pretty bad, it just some damage, some shield, and shield retention. Would never go for that 7 plus, it's one of the worst alongside control one we have, I would say. So not recommended to go for that 7 plus passive. First survival card we have, just damage card that doubles damage it do when we are above 50% max HP. At first this card don't look that amazing, but with some buffs this maybe may do a bit of nuke, but fact that it have pretty low base value means multiplicative scaling don't work that good with that card. So there is room to check if this can be new nuke standard, but with how Haidamari nuke looks, I wouldn't say so this can outscale Haidamari. Next survival card is just damage and heal based on how much damage we do. This one would be cool if we could get survival cards in Swamp, but since they are only new planet locked, we can't add this card to anyone and proc Clover with that unit. So overall, this card is pretty bad. I wouldn't use it on anyone. Okay, next card is just shield that discards card from our hand to give us more shield. Do we need it? No. Is it good? No. No, it's bad card. It's 400% shield, nothing more, and discard one card from our hand. Next one, we have another buffing card. This card gives us 75% damage amount for one turn, but it applies vulnerable to allies. This card is Psionic and Controller exclusive, and to be honest, I can see use for that card. If we have Psionic that is DPS, this is a lot extra damage. If we have Controller that is main DPS and likes additive damage, this also is a lot of extra damage, so someone like Chizuru will really enjoy this card, since it's another way of getting additive damage without having to play morale. And last survival card we have is Driven Hunt. This is probably best cards. This card does some damage and decrease fortitude by 3 for one turn. Decrease fortitude works for everyone in our team. So, and works alongside morale. So it's like another 3 morale over cap. That is pretty solid, and I think if you can put if you can put this card in deck, it will be beneficial for you. So in conclusion to our talk about cards, I think these 4 cards are only ones that are worth considering when building your deck, to put them in your deck. Other ones kinda do nothing. These cards have value for your deck, and playing them as cards you have, then playing with effects in background. So if you want control 5, you don't have to play any control 5. You can play, for example, Sever Ties on Arabella in upcoming Rift, and play Sample on Hilda and on another support, and still have 5 control. So you still have your crit without need to play any control card. And control cards are really bad. Also, one thing to note about the Driven Hand is, or 2 things to note about the Driven Hand are facts that decrease fortitude don't work for dot damage. These do nothing for fracture damage. Plus, if you want to play 2 copies of Driven Hand in your deck, only thing that got buffed is turn count, so it goes to 2 turns from 1 turn, so it's pretty not worth to play multiple of this in your deck. In regular comps, I would recommend to playing 2 sample collections and 1 Driven Hand, in a way that you have Inquiry 5 claimed free and single survival from Driven Hand, since this is probably best for your damage. Severed Ties is pretty solid if your DPS is Striker. Vanguards, I wouldn't play this. I don't think we have any Vanguard that good use from this card. And on Psionic DPSs, Feralization is also really solid. One thing when playing Psionic DPSs is fact you have to give up on Driven Hand, but most likely you play Driven Hand on your Ranger and Hunter's DPSs, Severed Ties on your Striker DPSs, Feralization on your Psionic DPSs, and both supports have sample collection.